Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about Mercury rising. That means the temperatures are going up, the summer season is on. It's all the main idea of the editorial is about heat wave deaths must be treated as a disaster that allows compensation by the state. This is the main idea of the editorial. Now let us go to editorial vocabulary. Then you'll come to know how many words are there, how many of these words are important. To begin with, not too many words, about 10 or 12, but a few words are important we have got for the first time. What is the first one? Eternity. The word eternity, eternal. Eternal is adjective. Eternity, noun, means what? Infinite or unending time. Unending time, never ending time, we use the word eternity. There's one combination, eternal sleep, means to pass away, death, and you can also say it is a sort of euphemism, eternal sleep. Belie, we have got for the first time, part of speech, verb. First one is noun, eternal, adjective, eternity, noun. Belie is a verb. It goes with an appearance, something how it appears. Fail to give a true impression of something. Something looks real, it may not be real. It could be a little. There could be some sort of deception. Fail to give a true impression of something. Then we say belie, an important word. Breach, we have got many a time. Part of speech, a verb. Breach has two different meanings. One meaning, it means a crack. It goes with a concrete structure like a dam or a wall. But another meaning in this context, an act of breaking or failing to observe a law, agreement, or code of conduct. In this context, not exactly the same. Something like not being the normal away from the normal. A respite we have got for the first time. Part of speech, noun. Respite usually goes with work, continuous work, or a heavy spell of something, a short period of rest or relief from something difficult or unpleasant, usually respite from something unpleasant related to nature or something work related. Sizzle, part of speech verb, it goes with cooking, everyday English. To be very hot, sizzling, something is sizzling means what? Very hot. Brace, an important word, it is also a verb. Prepare oneself for something difficult or unpleasant. Brace for something unpleasant. Usually it goes with a negative context. Notches, a few notches up, a typical expression. Part of speech, noun. An imaginary point or position in a comparison of amounts or values. Amounts, values, numbers, imaginary. Then we say a few notches up means a few points up the imaginary points. Proximity, noun. Closeness, proximate, adjective. Especially of the cause of something closest in relationship or immediate. Brace yourself, good. Bolster, we have got many a time. Part of speech verb. What does it mean? Support or strengthen. Bolster something, support or strengthen something. Bearing. Bearing, to have a bearing means to have a relation or relevance, to have a bearing on something. Part of speech, noun. Bake goes with cooking, everyday English, part of speech. In this context, the verb past participle form adjective, but bake is a verb. It goes with food, cooked by dry heat in an oven. Common error, oven, not correct. Oven is correct. Spell, singular, spells plural, noun. A stretch of a specified kind of weather. Usually we say dry weather, dry spell. Toll, the number of deaths or casualties arising from a natural disaster, conflict, accident. Usually it goes with a disaster or an accident. The death toll means what? The number of deaths. Part of speech, noun. Searing, part of speech, adjective. Extremely hot or intense. Not too many words, and these are the words from today's editorial. Now let us go to editorial analysis. Mercury rising. If you read the newspapers, immediately you can make out what exactly it means. Otherwise, you may wonder what is this Mercury rising? But here, grammar point of view, rise, raise, you have to recollect. Rise is an intransitive verb. It is also an irregular verb. Rise, rose, arisen. And here, raise, raised, raised, that is a regular verb. It's a transitive verb. Here it is irregular, intransitive. Rise, rose, risen, going up. Mercury rising means what? The temperature going up because summer, the summer season. What is the main idea of this editorial? Usually, every summer, heat waves. Because of that, a lot of people die, especially west, north and northwest. South, to some extent, not to that extent, but to some extent. Based on that, heat wave deaths must be treated. The helping verb must, again, you have to recollect any number of times, it doesn't matter, it helps in consolidation. Must has two functions. One, it is used to express a personal obligation or an obligation imposed by the speaker. Second function, it is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. Here, must be treated. We must treat something, that is active voice. Something must be treated, it is passive voice. Heat wave deaths must be treated as a disaster. Why should we treat heat wave deaths as a disaster? There is a reason behind that allows compensation by the state. Any death by because of a disaster, then the victims, they are eligible to get the compensation from the state. Keeping that in mind, the editorial opines heat wave deaths must be treated as a disaster that allows compensation by the state. This is the main idea. How we have to look at heat wave deaths. They must be treated as a disaster so that allows compensation by the state. Obviously, that is going to help the victims. India has been in the grip of what seems like an eternity of heat waves. India has been, this is in present perfect, but an important pattern. Usually, what is the sentence pattern that goes with present perfect tense? Subject, have or has, verb, past participle form. Usually, we use the action verb, but here it is a primary auxiliary be. What is the past participle form of that? Been. So a lot of students find it a bit difficult to understand. It is present perfect. In place of an action verb, the primary auxiliary be has been used. He has been, she has been, it has been, India has been. India has been, it talks about a particular state in the grip of an important phrase, in the grip of, usually it goes with a negative context, in the grip of fear, anxiety, here, heat waves. India has been in the grip of what seems like an eternity of heat waves. There is one word, eternity, part of speech noun. What does it mean? Infinite or unending time, something that lasts for a long time or forever. April temperatures. When you read the editorial, you can make out it's all about the summer season and the related heat waves. And because of the heat waves, the deaths, and they should be treated as a disaster so that they get the compensation. April temperatures over northwest. Sometimes students ask, sir, can we use the word temperature in the plural form? No problem as such. Temperature, singular, temperatures, plural. Nothing wrong with the word temperatures. Do remember, April temperatures over northwest and central India are the highest in 122 years. During April 1st to 28th, the average monthly maximum temperature over northwest India was 35.9 degrees Celsius, and the same over central India was 37.78 degrees Celsius. This sentence talks about the data, the temperatures across the country. These averages belie an important word. Part of speech, verb. It goes with appearance. Fail to give a true impression of something. You look at something, you may assume something, but may not be true. And the appearance belies means, in a way, deceptive. These averages belie measurements at the district and subdivisional level, where several parts of Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, and Maharashtra have seen temperatures inch towards the mid 40s and breach normals. A lengthy sentence. A few words. One is Bilai. I've given the meaning already. What is the other word? Breach. Usually, breach goes with concrete structure, crack. It also goes with an agreement, law, an act of breaking or failing to observe a law, agreement, or code of conduct. In this context, not being the normal, going beyond the normal, breach normals. So, what does the sentence talk about? The averages belie measurements at the district. Broadly, at the state level, averages different. District and subdivisional level, they are different. These averages belie measurements at the district and subdivisional level where several parts of Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, and Maharashtra have seen temperatures inch towards the mid 40s. The previous sentence talks about at the state level, if you take, excuse me, if you take the previous sentence talks about at the state level 35.9 degrees, 37.78 degrees, but at the district and subdivisional level, different states, inch towards, this is an important word. Here, inch has been used as a verb. What does it mean? Move towards. Inch towards means move towards the mid 40s and beach normals. Normal between 35 and 37. Beyond that, we can use the word breach normals. There is little respite. This is again very important from the exam point of view. Little, a little, the little. What is the difference? Little, hardly anything, almost nothing, has a negative connotation. A little, at least some. The little, whatever is there, or something specific. There is little respite here. What does it mean? No respite at all. There is little respite. Respite means a break, a short period of rest or relief from something difficult or unpleasant. There is little respite expected in May, which is anyway the hottest month. We all know summer, May, it is the peak, hottest, and we experience dog days, which is anyway the hottest month. Though the India Meteorological Department, IMD, says that while North and West India will continue to sizzle. Sizzle, an important word. Sizzle means what? Part of speech verb. To be very hot on expected lines and must likely brace for more heat waves. Brace means what? Prepare oneself. In this context, prepare oneself for more heat waves. The rest of the country, editorial talks about what it is, how it is going to be in the north and the northwest, and rest of the country. Based on that, the phrase, the rest of the country, is unlikely to see the levels of March and April. Not likely to see the levels of March and April. A heat wave is declared when the maximum. When do they declare a heat wave? This sentence talks about that. A heat wave is declared when the maximum temperature is over 40 degrees Celsius and at least 4.5 notches above normal. Notches, an imaginary point or position in a comparison of amounts or values or points in this context. Above normal, 4.5 notches above normal, they declare the heat wave, and also when the temperature is over 40 degrees Celsius. A severe heat wave is declared if the departure from normal temperature is more than 6.5 degrees Celsius, according to the IMD. One more aspect, a severe heat wave. Here it talks about a heat wave, 40 degrees plus, and also 4.5 notches above normal. The next sentence talks about when do they declare a severe heat wave. A severe heat wave is declared if the departure from normal temperature is more than 6.4 degrees Celsius according to the IMD. 4.5 notches above heat wave, 6.4 degrees above, then it talks about a severe heat wave. The proximate causes, causes noun here, proximate adjective. Proximity noun, closeness. Proximate means what? Especially the cause, especially of the cause of something, closest in relationship. You can also take it to immediate, the proximate causes, immediate causes for the searing heat. Again, it means to be very hot. Or what are the reasons behind? An absence of rain bearing western disturbances or tropical storms. that bring rain from the Mediterranean over North India. These are the reasons for the heat waves. And one more, cool temperatures in the central Pacific or a La Nina that normally aid rain in India too have failed to bolster rainfall this year. Another reason, something has failed to bolster rainfall this year. What is it? A La Nina. And here bolster, support or strengthen. These two sentences talk about the reasons for the causes when it comes to the heat waves. Despite five western disturbances forming in April, none was strong enough to bring significant. Here, so- last time, I don't remember the date, there was an editorial. There also we came across none was. Then one student commented it should be were. No, it has to be was. What is the reason? You have to consider the subject. Usually, the indefinite pronoun none, this is important, takes a plural verb. But if it is followed by phrases like of the students, different factors of the boys, of the girls, of the tourists, of the employees, then we have to use a singular verb. Here the subject is despite five Western disturbances, plural form. Based on that, none of these, in this context, none of the five Western disturbances forming in April was strong. We have to use a singular verb, nothing wrong with this. Last time also there was no problem. None was strong enough. Again, you have to recollect grammar point of view. This is important. Here, which part of speech is it? Enough can be an adjective, enough can be an adverb. As an adjective, it is not that important. I have enough money, I have enough something. But enough can be an adverb. As an adverb, it comes after an adjective. Strong person, strong adjective. Strong enough means what? Here, enough is an adverb, very important from the exam point of view. Was strong enough to bring significant rain and depress temperatures. The IMD has forecast, again an important word, already we have discussed many a time. Forecast, cast, broadcast, telecast, cost, all these hurt, they have the same form. Common error, forecasted, not correct, and hurted, not correct. They have the same form, present, past, and past participle form, same. Forecast, forecast, forecast. The IMD has forecast. This is in present perfect. Because of that, the verb here it is in past participle form, same form. The IMD has forecast a normal monsoon on 99% of the long period average of 87 centimeters and is expected to forecast the monsoon's arrival over Kerala later in May. Usually it is in the first week of June. On the surface, there is no direct bearing. An important word, bearing, means what? Relation or relevance. On the surface, apparently, there is no direct bearing between the intensity of heat waves and the arrival and performance of the monsoon. It looks like that. In fact, even as northern India begged for want of rain, bake, it goes with food, cooking, everyday English. From this, we get the word bakery, or food cooked by dry heat in an oven. In fact, even as northern India begged for want of rain, April saw monthly rainfall break a 4-year record with high rainfall in several parts of southern and northeastern India. Here we see a contrast. It talks about if you take the north and northwest, a lot of heat waves, whereas April saw monthly rainfall break a 4-year record with high rainfall in several parts of southern and northeastern. Southern and northeastern different, west and north different. May too is expected to see 9% more rain over India than is usual for the month, though it must be kept in mind that base rainfall is so low in this month that it is unlikely to make a mark. It talks about the rainfall, summer on and off, not regularly, not continuously, but a few times we experience the rain. So these sentences talk about rains during the summer season. May is a peak summer, obviously. May too is expected to see 9% more rain over India than is usual for the month, though it must be kept in mind. Contrasting information. Base rainfall is so low in this month that It is unlikely to make a mark. It doesn't make an impact. While individual weather events cannot be linked to greenhouse gas levels, a warming globe means increased instances of extreme rain events and extended rainless spells. This sentence talks about individual weather events that cannot be linked to greenhouse gas levels, but a warming globe means increased instances of extreme rain events, not the normal, extreme, and extended rainless spells. There's one word here. Spell as a verb, it has a different meaning, but here spell as a noun. Dry spell, common expression. A stretch of a specified kind of weather. Rainless spells means no rains for some time. What is better known is it helps to have disaster management plans in place. Based on all this, it is better to have disaster management plans in place that help states better deal with heat waves and their impact on health. If the disaster management plans are in place, means they are ready with the plans that helps states better deal with heat waves and their impact on health. The official toll due to, again the word toll, it goes with the number of deaths or casualties arising from a natural disaster, conflict, or accident. The death toll, the official toll due to heat waves in the last 50 years is put at over 17,000 people due to heat waves, according to research from the IMD. The heat island effect means, again important, effect you have to recollect. The heat island effect means urbanization adds degrees to the already searing conditions, extremely hot or intense conditions, and so heat wave deaths. The main idea is being reiterated. The heat wave deaths must be treated as a disaster that merits compensation so that they get compensation. Private and public workplaces too must be better equipped to factor heat wave risk. This talks about workplaces. The government, the disaster management, that is one thing on the one hand. On the other hand, private and public workplaces too must be better equipped to factor heat wave risk or to deal with heat wave risk. This is all about the editorial, an important editorial, climate, definitely seasons. You may get as a passage. Consolidate your grammar based on editorial. Uh, has been in the grip of. Here I have brought a few phrases and also I may touch the tenses, grammar related, has been present perfect tense, in the grip of usually a negative word. Fear, anxiety, worry, and heat wave in this context, important. Have seen temperatures inch towards. Temperature, some students think it cannot be used in plural form. That is not correct. You can use it in plural form. And inch towards means move towards. Inch, usually we all know it's a noun, but here it is a verb. There is little respite. Respite means a break. But here, why is this important? Little respite means no respite, negative connotation. India will continue to sizzle on expected lines. On expected lines, an important phrase, and will continue to sizzle, that talks about future. Failed to bolster rainfall this year. Something has failed to bolster, strengthen rainfall this year. Again, you have to recollect whenever you come across an adverb of time that indicates an incomplete time period, we have to use present perfect tense. This year, incomplete, usually it goes with present perfect. There is no direct bearing between, there is no direct bearing, no direct relevance between, again you have to recollect, between, among, amongst, that is going to consolidate your grammar knowledge. Extended rainless spells. In English, we can use the same word as a noun, as a verb, as an adjective. That awareness is important. And also, every word on an average has two or three meanings. Spell as a verb, please spell it out, means tell clearly. And spell here, noun, means what? A short period of something, usually negative, dry spell, a rainless spell, and important. As a verb, make a spell, create a spell, means make an impact. All these are important from exam point of view. Enhance your comprehension skill based on the editorial. What are the questions? What is this editorial about? Better you write, important, not from descriptive English point of view, but generally, it is better because you will be able to remember, and you have to recollect all the lexical terms. That helps in the long run. Which areas will continue to sizzle? Areas sizzle on expected lines. Keywords. What are the proximate causes for the searing heat? Keywords. Based on that, easy to navigate, locate, and write the answer. What cannot be linked to greenhouse gas levels? Cannot be linked. Easy to answer. What does the heat island effect mean? Effect. Again, you have to recollect. What does the heat island effect mean? Keywords. Easy to answer. That's all about the editorial. Now, coming to editorial vocabulary, the last slide related to the editorial, enrich your word power. This is a new exercise, not the regular one. Usually, you all know match two columns, but here you see a sentence with a blank. Here you have the words, seven words, seven sentences. You have to use the right word. The movie went on for what seemed like an, what is the right word? You have to respond now. It is your turn. The movie went on for what seemed like an eternity. Very good. Answer is the second option. Her calm face, the terror she was feeling. In one of the Telugu movies they have shown. This goes with that particular context. I'm going to, today you can see the change in the format related to the magazine. Wait for 1 or 2 days, you will get all the details. You can take the subscription. Her calm face belied the terror she was feeling. So here it is the fifth word. He was sued for off contract. What is the third one? He was sued for what? For breach of contract. He worked, we worked for hours without, we worked for hours without respite. Without what? Respite. Here it is the first one. The sausages are, use your grammar knowledge, the sausages are sizzling in the pan. The sausages are sizzling in the pan. The weather forecasters told us to brace ourselves for a heavy storm. Here it is brace. Brace ourselves, brace yourself for a heavy storm. The UN is sending more troops to bolster the peacekeepers. Answer is the fourth one. Hope you guys find this useful. Now let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. The first 5 questions related to error location. Please read the first one and try to spot the error. And what are the exam topics usually? Error location, sentence improvement, phrase replacement, passage, cloze test, parajumble, scrambled sentences, fillers, and new patterns. So please read sentence number 1 and try to spot the error. 6 women achievers who continue to inspire the younger lot were honored with their contributions in their chosen fields on the occasion of Women's Day. Nothing wrong with continue. No, no. Thank you very much for the feedback. Veera Shetty. No, nothing wrong. You all have the same wavelength. Nothing wrong with continue. There is no error whatsoever in the first part. 6 women achievers who continue to inspire the younger lot were honored. Honored with is not correct. Honored for. It takes a preposition for. Honored for their contributions. 6 women achievers, nothing wrong with the word who continue to inspire the younger lot, were honored for their contributions. Someone has been honored for his or her contribution. Where is the error? Third part, there is an error based on the verb honored. That's very good, Balu Naik. I appreciate. On the occasion of Women's Day. Question is about prepositional combination. The study focusing exclusively to critically ill children found that children with chronic illnesses, especially respiratory illnesses, to develop influenza that requires critical care. Honored for something. The study focusing exclusively, here focusing takes a preposition on, focus on something. The very first part, there is an error in the first part. You don't have to go beyond. The study focusing on exclusively an adverb don't consider. And what is a preposition combination? Focus on something. Focus on whatever you do. So this is again based on prepositional combination. A major computer security firm urged a social networking site to set up an early warning system after hundreds of users were hit by a new wave of virus attacks. Focus on something. Please go to question number 3, error location. This is a bit challenging for two reasons, a lengthy sentence and not a familiar context. But usually these are, if you look at the questions, they go with the newspaper context. If you read the newspaper, they look quite familiar. A major computer security firm urged, nothing wrong with that. The social networking site, nothing wrong with that. To set up an early warning system, a new wave. When you use the indefinite article, you cannot use a noun in the plural form. Nothing wrong here. A new wave. There is an error. Here, there are two actions. What is the first action? Hundreds of users were hit by a new wave of virus attacks. And what is the second action? Based on that, a major computer security firm urged a social networking site. The second action should be in past. It is in past, no problem. But the first action, the clue for you here, whenever you come across words like before, by the time, when, and the fourth one, after, then if at all there is a phrase after the word after, that should be in past perfect tense. Users had been hit. Here it talks about two actions in the past. The first action we have to use past perfect tense, and the second action we have to use past tense. And the position can be past tense, past perfect, or past perfect, past tense. But past perfect tense plus past tense, if this is a pattern, we have to use words like before, by the time, when. But past tense plus past perfect tense, same function, we have to use the word after. If you see the word before, past perfect should be before that. If you see the word after, past perfect should be after that. After hundreds of users had been hit, past perfect, passive voice. I thought you guys would get it right, but looks like no one has got. This is a very good question, not at all easy. But one word is the clue for you after. The actress was ordered for wear an alcohol monitoring bracelet and submit herself to random weekly drug testing after she failed to appear for a court date last week. Baffled, confused, puzzled, bewildered. You have to recollect all those words. Question of the day, beyond any doubt. This one rather easy. The actress was ordered for where? No. Ordered to where? Basic form of the verb with to, infinitive. The actress was ordered. He was told to go there. He was told to do something. The actress was ordered to where? Here, this is related to basic form of the verb, an easy one. The last one, in order to better access to financial services, RBI has granted licenses from 11 entities. Here, entities means the financial institutions to open payment banks. This is also an easy one. In order to better access to financial services, here you can take it as in order to improve. Better, good, better, best. But here it has been used as a verb, basic form with to, infinitive. In order to do something, in order to go, in order to achieve success. In order to better access to financial services, RBI has granted, what is the clue for you? Granted licenses from or to. Grant license to someone, not for. Grant takes a preposition to. Granted licenses to 11 entities. Licenses to. This question is based on prepositional combination. Now we have fillers. One or two are very easy. One or two made trouble, challenging. Rajiv was upset because only one blank, not two blanks. He forgotten his best friend's birthday. Rajiv was upset. Why was he upset? Because forgotten. Verb is in past participle. Then you have to use, you cannot use shall, you cannot use will, you cannot use might. He have forgotten, he had forgotten. Have is ruled out. Answer is the fifth option. Because he had forgotten his friend's birthday. An easy one based on grammar knowledge. Shanku was born a silver spoon in his mouth and was very proud of his wealth. This goes with an idiomatic expression. If you know that idiom, you can answer within no time. He was born with what? A silver spoon. The very first option. Hmm. Was born with, yes, very good. Born with a silver spoon means born with a lot of, in a rich family, and was very proud of his wealth. It is based on idiomatic expression. Jacob was a rich old man who lived alone in a huge house because his children did not care about him. Exactly, in a rich family. That is an idiomatic expression. Jacob was a rich old man who lived all alone. This again based on exposure to the language. If you are exposed to the language, you can answer. Otherwise, not possible. Jacob was a rich old man who lived all alone. She lives all alone. He lives all alone. Only alone, more to not at all correct. All alone, a standard expression. She lost an important file, and rather than confessing her, she blamed Sandra for losing it. Fourth one is also an easy one, should not be that difficult. She lost an important file, and rather than confessing her, she blamed Sandra for losing it. Confess, what do you confess? Mistake, respect, image, attitude, default. Here, the clue for you: confess. Confess your mistake. Usually, we cannot generalize, but usually. So, confess, admit a mistake. Being estimated that there may be many millions of species of plants and insects and microorganisms, plants, insects, and microorganisms still undiscovered in tropical rainforests. An easy one based on grammar knowledge. Yes, crime, mistake, has. Subject third person singular. It is in present perfect. You cannot use will, you cannot use should, you cannot use shall. Here, have is ruled out. What is the reason? Third person singular. Answer is the fourth option. Has. It has been estimated. Which tense is that? Present perfect passive voice. These are rather easy. Today, para jumble also an easy one. One of the reasons let me clarify, editorial sessions are from Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday as such, you don't get an editorial. Saturday, Sunday, no editorials, Monday to Friday. After a gap of 2 days, so there are two problems: Monday blues, one problem, and a gap of 2 days. I have brought easy questions. Today's para jumble also an easy one. You should get the correct order. Only 5 parts. What is the first one? Exam topics, para jumble. Climate change will result in thousands of new viruses spread. Oh, ban on plastic, economy versus environment. Very good. I've been telling you guys, sleeps if you take. What is the last letter? S. Socio-cultural problems. And there you have the most important topic, environment. And it has about 15 to 20 dimensions. All the dimensions are very important: climate change, greenhouse gases, depletion of ozone layer, plastic, deforestation, extinction of species. Every topic, soil erosion, natural disasters, every topic is important. D is the first one, perfect. What is the second one? Climate change will result in thousands of new viruses spread among animal species by 2070, and that is likely to increase the risk of emerging infectious diseases jumping from animals to humans, according to a new study. DB1 pair. This is especially the third one is E. This is especially true for Africa and Asia continents. Next one is easy. Continents that have been hotspots. Continents that have been hotspots for deadly disease spread from humans to animals. Here, EC, and what are you left with? Over the last several decades, including the flu, HIV, Ebola, and COVID 19. DB1 group, ECA, one group, not EAC, ECA. You cannot go to EA. This is especially true for Africa and Asia continents. Over the last, no, that have been hotspots. That is correct. ECA. Again, exam topic: misspelled words. You have 4 words in red. They may be correct, they may be wrong. You have to spot misspelled word. If you think all the words are correctly spelled, then you don't have to respond. Or you can say all are correct. India's official statistical machinery is gearing up, getting ready to relaunch the All India Household Consumer Expenditure Survey, traditionally undertaken. This is an important word. Please refer the dictionary and find out. From July 2022. Machinery, yes, of course, it is not A, it should be E. Machinery, that is not correct. The error, the very first word. He insisted that his government would restore Pakistan's sovereignty, being independent, not being controlled by any other country, breaking the IMF begging bowl forever, and never again acceding to the role of frontline state in America's wars. Where is the error? Sovereignty, what is the spelling? It is not sovereignty, VE. Sovereignty means what? Being independent politically, a country, a sovereign country, not controlled by any other country. Lynching and economic boycotts are now past. New horrors pile on top of the old, which have been forgotten. This is an easy one, should not be a problem to spot. Being a country that always begs, requests for something, begging bowl, always depending on someone or something, always requesting. Boycott, single T or double T? One T is missing. Double T. Boycotts. BOYCOTTS. Central banks rise interest rates to anchor high inflationary expectations when temporary price shocks on account of drought or disruption in global supply chains entail the risk of getting transmitted into actual inflation. Rise interest rates, you should understand, raise interest rates based on raise what? Central banks rise, not correct here. We cannot use the intransitive verb. We have to use a transitive verb. What is it? Raise. Then ask the question, raise what? Interest rates. That is object. This is based on confusing verbs rise, rose, risen, raise, raised, raised. Rise cannot take an object, raise takes an object. One is a transitive verb, the other one is an intransitive verb. In each market, it strives to ensure that the product mix incorporates subscription prices and the willingness and ability to pay while also adhering to the respective market conditions. Adhere, stick to. What is the correct spelling? ADHERING. Ah, yes, of course. Students, raise your hands. The sun rises in the east. Very good. Who is this? Prasad's. That's all for today. Hope you guys have got enriched and everything is crystal clear. I will stick to this and we'll continue with the same pattern, same format. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. All that you have to do after the session, go to the description of the video and click on the link. And tomorrow or day after, I'm going to come up with the magazine subscription details and the benefits. There are two courses based on whatever I've been doing, whatever I do every morning at 8 o'clock sharp